wenye mnato kwenye runinga unayoienzi. Kwenye kurunzi mashinani, sisi DC.
KDIC, safer, stronger together.
Mapato ya jasho lako, faida ya nguvu zako, na juhudi za kila siku kuboresha maisha yako. KDIC ndio ngao ya jasho lako. KDIC linzi wa akiba yako. Relax, akiba yako iko salama.
KDIC, safer, stronger together.
Are you a holder of unclaimed financial assets? All holders are notified to report and surrender unclaimed financial assets to the Unclaimed Financial Assets Authority, UFAA, on or before November 1st, 2024. It is now easier to report and surrender. Visit www.ufaa.go.ke and get started to beat the November 1st deadline. It's your turn. Report and surrender today. Please note that failure to report and surrender qualifying unclaimed financial assets attract penalties and sanctions in line with Section 33 of the UFA Act 2011. UFAA. Receive, safeguard, reunite.
From FIDA's call for urgent action from authorities following recent spate of femicide cases to First Lady calling inclusion of specific programs focused on children's health. Welcome to Prime Edition.
Tonight, we feature Warrant Officer Francis Kimeo a little later on Military Tales, your favorite weekly program. And in politics, Kenya Kwanza Party opposes the proposed constitutional amendment bill by Senator Samson Cherargei. Good evening. My name is Mboya.
Good evening. I am Muchuma Odim. In the highlights tonight.
From Pwani to Rongo University, from Rongo to Turkana, from Turkana to Meru, it is 100% shut down.
Back in the streets.
University doors fresh strike notice just weeks after a return to work formula saw them resume teaching. The good, the bad, and the law.
Supreme Court partially upholds a Court of Appeal ruling on the constitutionality of the tax law of 2023.
Gachagwa's lawyers now want the three-judge High Court bench not to review their client's conservatory orders, terming his impeachment
Unprecedented rush.
We cannot allow femicide to become a normalized part of a society. Enough is enough.
Plus, the Federation of Women Lawyers decries rising cases of femicide, terming it
a national crisis. Our socials at KBC Channel 1 on Facebook, yet X, and YouTube. Our sign language expert tonight is Susan Tuku.
And of course, the Gachagwa's lawyers are seeking in the corridors of justice. They want the three-judge bench court not to review Gachagwa's conservatory orders. Why? They're terming his impeachment unprecedented rush. Let's now cross over to the courts because those proceedings are still ongoing. And just listen in a little bit before we come back to the studio to give you the rest of the bulletin.
My Lord, as regards the issue of Article 148 to 149, I think we have said a lot about it, except, my Lord, when it is alleged that public participation under Article 149 is not required. My Lord, the issue is this. The Constitution is clear that from Article 10, it says whenever you are interpreting or applying the law, the values and principles in Article 10, which includes public participation, shall apply. What that means, if Parliament is carrying out a constitutional duty and Article 10 applies, unless it is excused by anybody, which I don't think it is possible, then prima facie, one cannot argue that public participation is not required. My Lord, the same argument would also follow under Article 118. It talks about legislative business and any other business before Parliament, which is exactly the issue about Article 149. Public participations would be required. So that, my Lord, prima facie, we are asking the court to hold, for purposes of the issues that will come for the petition, that prima facie, public participation that was supposed to be conducted for purposes of Article 149(1) were not conducted. My Lord, coming to the issue of public interest, legitimate expectation that the positions be filled, I agree. But the law also must be followed in filling vacancies in public positions. That matter has been rehashed in very many, including in a case which we have cited, where a representative of the public to the Judicial Service Commission was involved.
Kibe Mungai, their lawyer for the impeached Deputy President Gachagua, of course, putting forward a strong case there, wanting that three-judge bench of the High Court not to review what they term the client's conservatory orders. And of course, they are terming that his impeachment was made in an unprecedented rush. And so we have our fingers on the pulse of that story, and it's developing. And of course, we will be giving you any updates as it becomes apparent to us.
Still on the corridors of justice, the Supreme Court has partially upheld a consolidated appeal challenging the constitutionality of the Finance Act 2023.
The seven judges of the Apex Court, led by Chief Justice Martha Koome, declared several sections of the Act unconstitutional, emphasizing the need for adherence to legislative processes and public participation requirements.
This decision following a lengthy legal battle over the government's appeal regarding the Act's legality sets forth crucial recommendations aimed at enhancing transparency and accountability.
Ben Chumba is the one with that story.
The Supreme Court delivered a landmark judgment on the controversial Finance Act 2023, addressing the government's appeal regarding its legality. While the court upheld parts of the law, it also emphasized the need for improved public participation in the legislative process, setting forth crucial recommendations aimed at enhancing transparency and accountability. In the ruling, the Supreme Court overruled the Court of Appeal's declaration that the entire Finance Act 2023 was unconstitutional. However, the 7 judges of the Apex Court, led by Chief Justice Martha Koome, did uphold significant findings, declaring Section 76 and 78 related to the Kenya Roads Act and Section 87 concerning the Unclaimed Financial Assets Act as unconstitutional. The court's decision highlights the importance of legislative compliance, particularly regarding the provisions of a money bill. Notably, the court deemed the issue surrounding the affordable housing levy debatable, thereby avoiding further controversy on that front. The Supreme Court further urged Parliament to establish a statutory framework for public participation and ensuring that every version of a bill remains accessible to the public throughout the legislative process. The court also stressed that reasonable measures must be in place for considering public input, reinforcing the necessity of transparency and accountability in lawmaking. Ben Chumba, Prime Edition.
On to that university strike now. Learning in public universities has been paralyzed yet again after lecturers resumed their nationwide strike on Tuesday, accusing government of failing to implement the return to work formula that they signed sometime last month.
Speaking at Technical University of Kenya in Nairobi, University Academic Staff Union, WASO Secretary General Constantine Wasonga vowed that the strike will only end if lecturers receive the 7 to 10% salary increments agreed in their 2021-2025 Collective Bargaining Agreement, CBA.
Joseph Wahungu now brings us more on that story.
With just 1 month gone since they ended strike in September, university dons in the country Tuesday boycotted teaching in a bid to push the government to implement a 10% salary hike it had offered them as part of a deal that ended their strike.
From Pwani to Rongo University, from Rongo to Turkana, from Turkana to Meru, it is 100% shutdown. And I want to thank Dons for heeding the call of the union.
According to University Academic Staff Union Secretary General Constantine Wasonga, the Interpublic Universities Council Consultative Forum has blocked an automatic 4% annual increment on lecturers' basic salary. He recalled that the lecturers had initially sought the full implementation of the CBA, but ultimately agreed to a compromise that included a 7 to 10% salary increase and an annual 4% increment.
In our last meeting, the Vice Chancellor's Committee, Professor Mugendi, said that 4% has not been paid anywhere in the world. From that day, we have been doing research. And today I have data that there are cadre in the civil service that are paid even 8% automatic annual increment.
The lecturers have accused the government of resorting to threats and intimidations instead of forestalling effects of their strike, which will include delays in administration of exams in universities.
You cannot joke with the people who have gone to school. Lecturers have gone to school. You can't cheat them. Go and teach them now. Hey, we have refused to go to class. Go and teach them. Go. That you are scaring us with the sacking. Dons can teach anywhere in the world. Don't scare us.
The strike commenced on Tuesday after the expiration of a 7-day notice issued to the government by the UASO National Executive Council. Joseph Wahungu for Prime Edition.
Moving to other news tonight, President William Ruto says 10 million school-going children in Kenya will receive a healthy and nutritious meal in school by 2030.
The president, who spoke during a ministerial meeting on the Global School Meals Coalition, said that providing meals in schools will dignify children, increase enrollment, enhance attendance, and also boost performance.
Give us on Maina with that bit.
Speaking during a second ministerial meeting on the Global School Meals Coalition with stakeholders and partners, the president said the current school feeding program benefits 2.6 million children.
Initially, the program was implemented only in Nairobi. However, the entry of the World Food Program transformed us and expanded scale nationally. The outcome has been inspiring. It is undeniable that Kenya has recorded exemplary rates of enrollment, retention.
This marking an increase from 240,000 learners in 2009. The government now targets 10 million learners by 2030.
Today, Your Excellency, Kenya proudly reaffirms its commitment to the Global School Meals Coalition and Kenya's goals, including the scale-up plan for universal coverage.
The head of state, however, regretted that despite the intervention, hunger still poses a significant challenge to school-going children across the country, hence the need to boost budgetary allocations.
We still have too many children out of school, and it is the reason why I specifically asked the governor of Nairobi that we cannot have the capital city of Kenya with too many children out of school, largely because of two things: infrastructure in our schools, and secondly, hunger.
It is estimated that in areas of conflict in Africa, there are close to 100 million children out of school.
Everyone is asking, what do we do about Africa's young people? The first thing, obviously, is to secure their future through education, through keeping them in school, through feeding them. And that is why we see this as an African solution to a global concern.
We will be allocating still later this year 5.5 million euros to WFP's school meals program globally, with a special emphasis on African countries, Burundi, Kenya, Liberia, and Zambia, as well as also in Yemen, Syria, and Myanmar.
The Global School Meal Coalition comprises of 130 partners and 105 countries committed to scaling up school meal programs across the world. Give us in mind, Prime Edition.
From that school feeding program to a story now on femicide, the Federation of Women Lawyers is tonight calling for urgent action from authorities following a recent spate of femicide cases in the country.
According to FIDA, since January this year, 30 women have died in the hands of their intimate partners, but the crimes have been treated casually.
Very casually indeed. The Federation now wants President William Ruto to declare femicide a national crisis. Kamchemeza is the one who opens that story up for us.
Early this year, women rights activists took to the streets to condemn increasing cases of femicide in the country. A few months later, that scenario may repeat itself. The Federation of Women Lawyers Kenya has yet again raised an alarm of increasing cases of the murders.
The media has reported and highlighted the murders of at least 6 women whose bodies were dumped in Kware and Embakasi, shocking the entire country as well as the world. The main suspect in these horrific murders, Collins Jumaisi, escaped from Gigiri police station, and to date, his whereabouts are unknown.
Yesterday, the country woke up to the utter shock of the media reports that the body of Yvonne Jirangwa, a 23-year-old trainee Catholic nun, was found in a sewer pit within Rongo Parish Convent.
FIDA, joined by a host of human rights activists, accuses security organs of laxity in conducting investigations and bringing the perpetrators to book.
In 2024, so far FIDA Kenya is aware of at least 30 cases of women who have died in the hands of intimate partners as a result of domestic violence and femicide. These cases have been reported to the National Police Service, but unfortunately, the pace of investigations is excruciatingly slow.
We can no longer afford to treat femicide as an isolated series of incidents. It is a national emergency that requires urgent and coordinated responses from the highest offices in the land.
In their quest for urgent action, FIDA has spelled out a raft of measures which should be implemented, including legislative reforms to have femicide treated as a standalone crime.
The President should officially declare femicide a national crisis and a disaster. The Directorate of Criminal Investigations, DCI, and the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions, that is the ODPP, must provide a detailed public update on the status of investigations and prosecutions of all suspects tied to these femicide cases.
The Federation says while it is conducting sensitization, the effort needs to be supplemented by government.
Should there be no action within the next 30 days, we will consider other options, including mobilizing a nationwide picketing of women to demand our right to safety and justice. We cannot allow femicide to become a normalized part of a society. Enough is enough.
Members of Parliament now want the Kenya Rural Roads Authority, KERA, to provide details of how and why the agency was fined 16 million shillings for breaching a contract with a security firm.
KERA Director General, Philemon Kandie, was unable to explain to the National Assembly's Public Investment Committee on Energy and Commercial Services what caused the breach of contract that led to taxpayers losing at least 16 million shillings.
The Kenya Rural Roads Authority had contracted Total Security Firm a contract to provide security at its 47 regional offices and headquarters for a period of 2 years at a cost of 29 million shillings, but ended up paying 45 million shillings after arbitration.
Result of the arbitration award.
Who advised for some payments to be made. Like this interest of 16 million. What was that for? This is the elephant in the meat.
Somebody tried to be very smart to mint money from the coffers, public coffers. So, because how do Star Security just move to arbitration without the legal department doing something about it?
The contract had an arbitration clause. So when the payment was not made, arbitration proceedings were undertaken, where we participated and raised a defense on behalf of the organization.
You have been having obligation with contractors whom we have not paid for a very long time with a lot of pending bills. Have they taken to an arbitrator?
Total Security is one of the security firms that we offered to give us security in our offices.
Where?
Now, the details of the offices, I may not know it offered, but I can give you that list.
Kera, you are going with what people say in English, an egg on the face. I don't know what it means, but you can see yourselves. You cannot know the date upon which the contract was entered into, what they breached that led to that, what happened and what happened, which region are they supposed to take care of, how many security officers were to give you, so you know all those things.
Moving on, First Lady Rachel Ruto is calling on the Mars Foundation to consider extending their More Than a Mother campaign to include specific programs that are focused on child health as well as education, particularly in the area of school feeding.
The First Lady spoke Tuesday during the 11th edition of the Mars Foundation Africa Asia Luminary in Tanzania, where she acknowledged the foundation's scholarship for over 210 doctors in Kenya in underserved medical specialties.
The 11th edition of the forum brings together African First Ladies from 18 countries to discuss strategies and impact of partnership programs in building healthcare capacity, breaking infertility stigma, and also
supporting girl education.
Health is one of the pillars in our economic blueprint, known as the bottom-up economic transformation agenda. Despite education being a fundamental human right, countless children remain locked out of learning opportunities due to poverty, conflict, and other barriers.
That's the story that brings us to our first break on Prime Edition. The time now, 9:20 East African.
See you on the other side. Continue communicating to us on our Tuesday conversation on X, YouTube, and Facebook. See you on the other side.
Mapato ya jasho lako, faida ya nguvu zako, na juhudi za kila siku kuboresha maisha yako. KBC ndio ngao ya jasho lako. KBC linzi wa akiba yako. Relax, akiba yako iko salama.
KDIC, safer, stronger together.
Rahisisha uwezo wako wa ushindi kwa kukuwa memba wa Loto Moto, na ni rahisi. Dial *570#, chagua option 1. Ukiwa memba ni rahisi kufika kwenye jukwaa hili ili kujaribu mchezo wetu wa Loto Moto Show. Na pia kama memba unajipa nafasi rahisi ya kuingia kwenye promotion zetu zinazokupa nafasi ya kujishindia chapaa na zawadi kibao kama TV, friji, pikipiki, mashamba na pia magari. Kuwa memba ni *570# option 1. Tushinde kama members.
Welcome back to Prime Edition.
Kenya is working with development partners such as the Food and Agriculture Organization to strengthen integration of environmental considerations into the One Health framework.
The framework is a collaboration aimed at creating awareness on biodiversity, conservation, climate adaptation, and sustainable agricultural practices.
Details of this and other stories in our County News Wrap segment.
According to the National Environment Management Authority, rapid urbanization, industrialization, and agricultural expansion has altered natural ecosystem. Hence, there's a need for collaboration among environmental, public health, and veterinary sector to tackle these challenges.
You know, this kind of synergies will actually help us to prevent such pandemics. We are now hearing about Ebola. We are hearing, there's also cholera. Yeah, so this kind of integrated approach brings us together so that we're able to deal with the issues that affect our health.
Elsewhere, the Kenya Climate Change Working Group has made a case for diversity and disability inclusion in climate change discussions. The call was made during the National Pre-COP29 Sensitization Workshop in Nairobi.
We take into consideration these uniquenesses. Like, for instance, we can't have a similar intervention for persons with disability as compared to other, able-bodied populations.
Meanwhile, Law Society of Kenya Thika Chapter Secretary Patrick Kungu is using the legal week to sensitize the public on how to identify quack lawyers.
We see that having such a week whereby we are not charging for consultation, we'll be able to talk to our members of public, we'll be able to advise them what the law says about the issues that they have, and also what to look out for to know whether an advocate is really an advocate, or the person that they think is an advocate or a masquerader.
In Kisii County, a man and 2 children are nursing injuries at the Marani Sub-County Hospital after they were hacked by a woman who is allegedly a relative following a prolonged family feud.
Nilipofika, nikatuma hawa wasichana wawili wakimbie waletea wageni wangu nyama wakule jioni. Wakafika Marani, wakakawia kidogo, tukasema tuwafuate na gari yangu. Kuwafuata kufika Marani tukakuta wametoka. Tulipokaa Marani kidogo tukapigiwa simu kwamba mmoja amepiwa nyundo mwenye ni Esther.
Elsewhere, Homa Bay County Commissioner Moses Lilan has issued a strict directive to chiefs in the region to eliminate gambling machines from their areas of jurisdiction or face removal from office.
Gambling machine na chief hawezi kaa mahali, lazima moja ibaki. So ukitaka ubaki, sawa. Ukitaka gambling machine ikae, the choice is yours.
Finally, Seth Nyakio Njeri, the slain daughter to nominated Kirinyaga member of the County Assembly, Lucy Njeri, has been laid to rest at her family home in Kirinyaga County. Mourners called on the Directorate of Criminal Investigations to ensure perpetrators are brought to justice.
The investigations are with the homicide. We have some culprits, the names are named. We even have the main suspect. But whoever is here, I can see you. I will look all around and you will not know who is it. But there is a suspect who is this charge. But may God bless you. There is God who revenges.
Nyakio's body was discovered in a rented room in Biafra Estate, Thika. A postmortem revealed that she died due to lack of oxygen caused by strangulation. Kasi Chenamasha, Prime Edition.
Thank you for staying with us. In business, gender-based quotas should be established for engineering jobs as well as inclusive hiring practices to benefit women. The President's advisor on women's rights, Harriet Shigai, is urging women engineers to leverage technology to boost their competitiveness in the male-dominated profession.
Bias in pay, family and cultural stereotypes have been blamed for the gap between male and female engineers in Kenya, with women accounting for only 13% of all registered engineers.
With more support, we continue to support one another, we shall be able to have more of us, being leaders, particularly in engineering.
The excellent education that we have received in this country, and I trust that this convention will actually start to this conviction.
The President's advisor on women's rights, Harriet Chigai, believes this could be addressed through deliberate measures favoring women engineers, such as flexible work environments, support systems, and safe, inclusive workplaces.
When you are in position of responsibility and authority, then you cover up and you advise the organization when it comes to policies that support women to work and grow in our organization.
They also want initiatives encouraging girls to embrace science, technology, engineering, and mathematics courses as early as in primary school to build interest.
The government, through relevant ministries, has undertaken initiatives aiming at inspiring young girls to pursue STEM careers, such as the STEM camps, workshops, competitions to encourage more women to enter these fields.
They were speaking during the official opening of the 31st IEK International Convention in Mombasa.
We actually mentor the young engineers. We are not just there for them to see the role models, but we also mentor them, we encourage them, and when they have issues, at least now they see the people that they can come and talk to. That was not there earlier, because if I see the people who are older than me, they are actually older engineers than me, they are actually very few.
I'm Regina Manyara reporting for KBC Channel 1 from Shanzu, Mombasa County.
Thank you, Regina Manyara. Now to Kenya and Bavaria relations. A delegation from the federal states of Bavaria, led by Economic Affairs Vice Minister Tobias Guthart, are in Kenya scouting for business opportunities. Trade Cabinet Secretary Salim Mvurya says Kenya is keen on deepening bilateral ties with the federal states of Bavaria in commerce, labor, agriculture, and innovation. Mvurya says the partnership will also focus on scaling up technical training, investing in special economic zones and industrial parks, as well as promoting entrepreneurship in Kenya.
16th largest state, and it is also a big economy in Germany, on how we can leverage on the opportunities that we already have with the Federal Republic of Germany in terms of the bilateral relations, leveraging also on the economic partnership agreement we have with the EU, to see how we can mobilize investments from the state of Bavaria. Already the German and Kenya have a good export market. We export agricultural products to Germany every year, and in 2023, for example, We exported, our exports value were around 16 billion, mostly agricultural products, coffee, tea, flowers, and also macadamia and other agricultural products. At the same time, we imported products from Germany to the tune of 39 billion, which means then the balance of trade is currently in favor of Germany. And utilization of these meetings and also opening up the market.
We had a very friendly and positive and inspiring meeting this morning. I can say that for Bavaria, as a part of Germany and the economically strongest region in Germany, Kenya is our strongest partner on the African continent, and we are really looking forward to deepen the cooperation.
Across the borders, micro, small and medium-sized enterprises in Kenya should expand their markets to tap the 300 million East African Community Market. Speaking during the Kenya Day at the ongoing EAC SMEs Trade Fair in Juba, MSA's Development Cabinet Secretary Wycliffe Oparanya said the East African Community Market remains largely untapped by Kenyan businesses.
Unless we continue to work together so that we can aggregate our products better, produce our products more cost effectively, so that as the government handles the policy issues that are hampering or hindering our participation at the regional market, tukuwe tumejipanga vizuri. We must work together, we must improve on our products, and the government, and especially through the authority, will support you to ensure that your products are better and better.
MSMEs are very important drivers of economic growth and development in East Africa, accounting for over 90% of the total employment in the region and 30% of exports. In addition, these enterprises currently constitute over 90% of all businesses and contribute 29% of the GDP of the East African region market, which has 312 million people.
In these people lies the big opportunity of reaching out to the Africa Continental Free Trade Area. We have an opportunity to improve the quality of our products, so that by and by, Honorable Minister, we want to encourage these people to remove their competition from between themselves to competing with other big players like Singapore, like Malaysia, like Taiwan, like China, India, so that even when whatever we are exhibiting here, Honorable Minister, should be product that can meet the international market standards.
We want to have agenda focusing on MSME. Why that is very important? It's very important because if we, Kenya, we have prioritized MSME, and let's say other member states, our neighbors also prioritize MSME, when we come up with specific intervention that are targeting to grow this sector, we will be reading from the same script. So that all those issues that we are facing, a few challenges I know which are there, or when you're crossing the borders, or probably double taxation, either from here to Kenya, or non-tariffs, or all those issues. All of us, we will have similar conscience around MSME. So when we start proposing our regulatory framework, there will be frameworks that promote conducive environment for the growth and development of our MSME.
Kenya Power says a strong shilling helped it reduce financing costs, which coupled with increased electricity sales powered the listed utility firm to post 30 billion shillings in full-year net profit, bouncing back from a net loss of 3.2 billion shillings the previous year. Kenya Power says has recommended a dividend payout of 70 cents per share to be paid in January.
Kenya Power was under scrutiny last year when it reported a full-year net loss of 3.2 billion shillings. The utility firm attributed the loss to high operational costs, currency-driven finance expense as a result of dollar-dominated power purchase agreements, and an aging power infrastructure. Kenya Power has, however, turned this around after announcing a full-year net profit of 30 billion shillings. Electricity sales increased 21% to 231.12 billion shillings, powered by improved sales after 447,000 new customers were connected to the national grid, as well as increased economic activities, particularly in the manufacturing sector.
After now installing and being on these rapid results initiatives, we can see the peaks being hit almost and being surpassed. I don't even know how long the 2242 is going to last. Possibly within the next 1 or so months or 2, again, we'll have a new peak.
Finance costs reduced by 24.8 billion shillings on account of appreciation of the shilling. However, operating and transmission expenses rose from 37.28 billion shillings to 46.28 billion shillings, occasioned by a 92% rise in wheeling charges for the expanding transmission networks.
The true solution in terms of addressing the losses in this country, I do know, on the commercial end, we still need to deal with that, and KPLC, we have a strategy dealing with that. But the composition of the technical losses is not a KPLC affair. There is a lot that needs to happen within the transmission space for us to be able to reduce those losses.
We have serious growth in power demand. We need these transmission lines as a country, but we have a constraint in terms of funding them through loans and GOK. So we are hoping that in the fullness of time, we will get a leeway in which we can be able to fund them.
The profit has prompted Kenya Power to end a 7-year dividend drought by announcing a first and final dividend payout of 70 cents per share. Trevor Ngendo for Prime Edition.
Satellite towns and areas on the outskirts of major urban centers have key targets of homeowners owing to availability or proximity to key social amenities. Finsco Africa Chief Executive Officer John Mwaura says there is high demand for land and housing in such as Thika Superhighway in Nairobi owing to infrastructural development that has enhanced accessibility and facilitated investments.
The cost of land in satellite towns in Nairobi has recorded double-digit growth over the last 1 year, outperforming suburb areas. The latest land price index by House Consult indicates that the cost of land in Juja has increased by 20.1% over the last 1 year, while Ruiru is up by 14.1%. The report indicates that apartment sale price in satellite towns also recorded double-digit figures, with prices in Thika increasing 11.7% and Mlolongo rose 11.2%. Finsco Africa Chief Executive Officer John Mwaura attributes this to infrastructural development that has opened up the areas for investment and increased the demand among developers and potential homeowners.
This implementation of this affordable housing, I would urge, let's try to embrace foreign direct investment. And one of the way of encouraging foreign direct investment is to ensure our political temperatures are down.
He says availability of key supportive services such as water, electricity, sewerage, and internet is fueling demand for land and housing along the Thika Superhighway.
It can happen that way. You get your money, you pay taxes, tomorrow you pay. In the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years, the government will have recouped it money. But if you don't pay supply today, you don't pay supply tomorrow, even money for affordable housing, people will not be able to get.
Mwaura is concerned that the cost of renting houses in Kenya is very high and is challenging Kenyans to explore ways of owning property. Frederick Mwoki for Prime Edition.
Tomato farmers in Kiambu Kirinyaga, Kajiado, Garissa, Bungoma and Busia are calling on investors to put up value addition facilities in the devolved units to address post-harvest losses. The farmers say the crop remains highly susceptible to diseases and invasion of pests due to its perishable nature, therefore necessitating the need for affordable and sustainable solutions for storing tomatoes, especially in areas without electricity connection. The farmers are also calling for training on market systems to empower them access real-time market information.
When you harvest them and put them through the logistics of getting them to the market, these tomatoes can stay looking at you healthy and nice, minimal post-harvest losses for up to a month.
Tunaomba kama inaweza kuwe na mambo ingine, kuwe na njia ingine ambayo tunaweza process hizi nyanya kama kiganda hivi ya kuprocess hizi nyanya zitoe kitu ingine, yani value addition. Tunaweza shukuru sana kwa serikali, maana pia hiyo inaweza katusaidia sana.
The idea was to develop varieties or to promote varieties that are high producing, which are going to give farmers a higher yields, which are resistant to the diseases which have been affecting farmers around the country.
Glad you're watching Prime Edition. We are taking a breather. When we return, Tom will be bringing you the sports. Stay with us.
Rahisisha uwezo wako wa ushindi kwa kukuwa memba wa Loto Moto, na ni rahisi. Dial *570#, chagua option 1. Ukiwa memba ni rahisi kufika kwenye jukwaa hili ili kujaribu mchezo wetu wa Loto Moto Show. Na pia kama memba unajipa nafasi rahisi ya kuingia kwenye promotion zetu zinazokupa nafasi ya kujishindia chapaa na zawadi kibao kama TV, friji, pikipiki, mashamba na pia magari. Kuwa memba ni *570# option 1. Tushinde kama members.
As we get sporty, it is a new dawn for the Kenya Volleyball Federation, who have now embraced innovation and digitization with the 2024-2025 National Volleyball League scheduled to start on Thursday, with exciting matches lined up in Nyeri.
The digitalization campaign will entail a newly established federation website, which will live stream their matches as revealed today during the launch of the Digital Marketing Initiative at the KCB Leadership Center in Karen, Nairobi. The federation is expected to use the power of technology and online platforms to expand their brand and build strong networks, which will be beneficial to all in the new world of modern sports industry.
The other products that can be marketed also are the zonal and continental events which we are hosting. When we are hosting, we invite sponsors to come forward, and this one will give them visibility not only locally but internationally.
Meanwhile, the 2024-2025 Kenya Volleyball Men's and Women's Leagues will start this Thursday at the Kamukunji grounds in Nyeri, with the highlight of the day being the Women's League match between powerhouses Prisons Kenya and Kenya Pipeline. This will be followed by the Nyeri Governors Cup over the weekend.
Equity Hawks bounced back in the FIBA Women Basketball League African qualifiers to beat Fox Divas of Tanzania 87-48 in their third Group C match today at the Aman Indo Stadium. Equity suffered a setback yesterday when they lost to Reg of Rwanda 86-73, but they made up for that in today's match when they left nothing to chance to bag all the quarters. They are second in Pool C, led by Reg, having won 2 matches and lost 1. Kenya Premier League champions KPA Dockers led Pool B, having won 1 match against Hawassa City basketball team from Ethiopia, whom they thrashed 128-36 out of the 2 matches they've played so far. Meanwhile, the Kenya Basketball Federation new season will start this Saturday, a couple of days from today, with defending men's champions Nairobi City Thunder against the USIU Tigers of the African Nazarene University. The Football Kenya Federation, in partnership with the world governing body FIFA, have concluded a 2-day FIFA club professionalization and management workshop for all FKF Premier League clubs in Nairobi, Kenya. The workshop, which will now be held every year, brought together representatives of the local football clubs who have been empowered with, among others, ways of bringing fans back to the stadium. Participants were therefore challenged to change the narrative in order to improve the situation which has been wanting in the Kenyan football. This will go a long way in bringing back financial stability to Kenyan clubs and also attract sponsorship, which will in turn boost their finances. In attendance was FIFA Head of Development Programs in Africa, Solomon Mudenge, and FKF President Nick Mwendwa.
I'm happy that we're the second country in Africa to get this training. The guys who are here are top professionals. They know what they're doing. They have the knowledge. Our clubs will harvest the knowledge now. And we continue to do this every year in the coming years to improve our clubs.
I believe with such trainings, we'll be able to make our clubs professional so that we can in turn also make our league as professional as possible.
Kenya has been registered to participate in the second edition of the Walking Football World Nations Cup, scheduled for September 2025 in Spain. As a build-up to this event, the Kenyan Walking Football Federation is taking the sport to the target demographic.
Football at a walking pace. No running, no heading of the ball, no tackles, and can be played by mixed gender teams on a pitch that is 30 meters by 40 meters and open to women over 45 years and men over 50. This is the discipline that the Kenya Walking Football Federation is promoting to senior citizens for recreational and competitive purposes. The sport has been used to help those who have suffered strokes get their motor skills back, maintain social contact for the elderly, and open conversations about wellness. For those who get caught by the bug of the game, donning a national team jersey comes in the form of the World Nations Cup, a tournament where Kenya is registered for the second edition scheduled for October 2025 in Spain.
It is also good for our health, especially when you retire. And in Kenya, so many people have not officially retired. They were retrenched. So it will help our health because we have been stressed, depressed, traumatized. But now when we go to walking football, we find keeping ourselves busy.
The second clear, distinct pathway is the competitive side, and that's really targeted potentially for people like myself, ex-footballers, who maybe many years ago, because of the age and the limbs, stopped playing, and this is an opportunity to recharge, to recatalyse into football in a way that's safe and healthy.
It's a nice game. I've learned that it's a game of non-contact, and it's just walking football. You can't run, and it's for people like us who have played and retired. So if you want to find a place where you can play a sport that you enjoy, it's now football.
It is a sport for people who are over 50, and I'm hoping to use this for very many things, to build the community, to get the men out of the houses to come out and bond and play and have fun and network, and basically just build our health at our age.
For Prime Edition, I am Daniel Wahome.
On the global front, Spain and Manchester City midfielder Rodrigo Hernandez and Barcelona female midfielder Aitana Bonmati are the winners of the 2024 Ballon d'Or Awards, which were held in Paris.
2024 Ballon d'Or France Football winner is Rodrick.
Rodri won his first Ballon d'Or award ahead of Real Madrid's duo of Vinicius Jr. and Jude Bellingham. Rodri, who picked up an ACL injury in September against Arsenal, enjoyed the standout season of his career in 2023-2024, winning a fourth consecutive Premier League title and lifting the Euro 2024 trophy with Spain.
The 2024 Ballon d'Or France Football is Aitana Bonmati.
Meanwhile, 26-year-old Aitana Bonmati won her second Ballon d'Or as she enjoyed a hugely successful year, helping her club triumph in the Spanish top flight and Champions League.
The Gerd Müller Trophy goes to
Donc le trophée Gerd Müller est décerné à Kylian Mbappé et
Bayern Munich's forward Harry Kane and Real Madrid's forward Kylian Mbappé bagged the Gerd Müller Trophy after scoring a record 52 goals. Argentina Copa America winner and Aston Villa goalkeeper Emiliano Martinez won the Yashin Trophy of the best goalkeeper in the world. There was little surprise when the Copa Trophy, awarded to the best male player under the age of 21, went to Barcelona's teenager star Lamine Yamal. The forward became the youngest goal scorer in the history of the European Championships when 4 days shy of his 17th birthday scored for Spain in their 2-1 semi-final win over France before going on to lift the trophy. Barcelona won the Women's Club of the Year after beating Lyon in the last season's Women's Champions League final for their third European title in 4 years. Real Madrid were named the best men's team after triumphing in the last campaign. Spanish forward Yanni Hermoso became the first woman to receive the Socrates Award after the Ballon d'Or ceremony yesterday for spearheading the hashtag Che Achabo campaign.
From Theatre du Châtelet back to the studio. Remember, tomorrow, the boxing fraternity around the world will mark the 50th anniversary of the greatest sporting event in the 20th century, the Rumble in the Jungle, that fight between the legendary late Muhammad Ali and George Foreman, that match that was beamed to over 50 million people around the world and was attended by an estimated 60,000 fans in Zaire, now the Democratic Republic of Congo, many years back in 1974. Well, that does it for the Day Sports.
Na bwana yake huwa wanafanya mambo ingine ya kushangaza.
Mambo gani? Hebu eleza koti.
Nyamaza niendelee.
Endelea, usitupotezee wakati.
Unajua nibadilisha mtoto na unataka kuniaccuse kuna shida niko nayo.
Pole pole tu.
Mimi alisema alikuja kwa hospitali yako akamwambia wewe mimi amgetaka kijana, lakini sababu mimi alikuwa amefanyiwa scan akabata mimi atabata msijana na ningetaka kijana, wewe akanimwambia hakuna problem, wewe ataorganize. Wacha kuruka mimi. Jen,
mimi si nakuruka na mna
wewe ni wacha kuruka mimi.
Wacha uongo.
Umesema ni kitu inaendeleanga katika hiyo hospitali.
Si ndio, na wewe si ndio unafanyanga?
Mimi.
Si ndio? Nani mwingine anafanyanga? Sasa mama, hawa watafungwa.
Hiyo si kazi yako.
Oh, it's not your job.
All right, so a quick recap. Impeached DP Gachagua is in the courts.
Yeah, it's still ongoing. Of course, his team fighting very hard there, and we will be keeping you posted on events as they unfold on that story.
Ruth Mboya is on that bit with Able Team. But before we go, we leave you with this week's episode of the Military Tales. Artillery Battalion is a military unit that provides indirect fire support for infantry or armored units.
They are equipped with a variety of artillery guns, which are a large caliber weapon that can be moved from place to place during battle.
Warrant Officer 2 retired Francis Kimeu Henry served the army and worked in the 66 Artillery Battalion for 33 years.
That's a long time, and we now leave you with this week's edition of Military Tales. I want to thank you on behalf of the Prime Edition team in the back end. My name is Mboya.
I am Muchuma Odim. Our sign language expert tonight is Susan Thuku. Thank you for your feedback on our socials. We do appreciate your company very much.
Good night.
Good night.
From Nairobi, Kenya.
We journey from Nairobi to Mumbuni, Machakos County.
Yes. Karibu sana, tutajue. Mzuri sana. Karibu sana. Yes. Karibu sana.
Here we visit one former Kenya Army officer who worked in the 66 Artillery Battalion for over 3 decades.
Kwa majina naitwa Francis Kimeu Henry. Retired officer 2. Kuzaliwa nilizaliwa hapa. Ni Mumbuni. Mongala location, Manza village.
Born in 1960, Kimeu attended Mungara Primary School and Changuli Secondary Schools in Machakos before joining the army in 1980.
In 1980 December 27 ndio nikajiunga na wanajeshi. Tuenua 5K. 5K iko Gilgil. Na baada ya kumaliza ile 6 months tulikuwa tunaenda training, nilipostiwa tu hapo karibu mahali naitwa 66 Artillery. Pia 66 Artillery iko to Gilgil. Nimeserve 66 Artillery for 38 years. Nilipostiwa kwa Misinga, ya Artillery, na nikapanda course inaitwa Ganali. Ganali ni ile course inafanya wakati wa kwanza ndio ujue hiyo Misinga. Na siku wakati nimaliza Ganali basic, nikapanda course ingine inaitwa survey. Survey ni kuwezesha kutoa projectile kutoka hapa mpaka mbali, mahali ambayo huoni.
It is the Artillery Battalion where he would scale the ranks, eventually becoming a drills instructor.
Mimi nilikuwa mzuri kwa drill. Nilikuwa nafunza drill. Nilikuwa napanda drill na nimeikushinda kikombe ya drill. Drill nile pale tunaona askari wanatembea, hiyo mnasema hiyo drill ni hiyo, unaona askari anatuma mikono hii hawezi enda zote pamoja hivi, kama hii mkono ikienda mbele inaenda na hii mguu, na hii ikienda mbele inaenda na hii. Sasa hiyo ndio tunaita drill. And drill iko namna tunaanza kufunza mtu. Tunaanza kufunza magitu yanasema by numbers. Ndio aanze kukamata. Na baada ya hiyo unapatiwa kitu inaitwa kimesai. Kimesai ni ile mtu amequalify kufunza wengine. Unasimamia wengine. Na ndio nimekuambia nimefunza kabla sijatoka, nimefunza kadha. Kama hata wangekuwa askari ningekukimbiza kidogo.
As a warrant officer too, Kimeu outlines some of his responsibilities.
When you bridge between the other ranks. Now, commissioned officers, when you bridge, una make sure that kwamba askari akiwa na shida, unapeana kubale kwa warrant officer, kwa commissioned officer, unamueleza shida hiyo askari.
In his first peace mission in Sierra Leone, he witnessed firsthand the effect of civil war to people and the economy.
Sierra Leone ileta 04.
Yoni Kenbat.
Kenbat 12. Kenbach 12. Lakini mimi nilikuwa kwa ingine inatoka Garden Edmen. Hao wengine wakuwa kwa Kenbach, ni mnakuwa ndio mnachunga wakubwa na hiyo area. Sasa sisi tulikuwa tunachunga mahali inaitwa Maminyoko. Hiyo nje ya Sierra Leone ilitokea vita. Na wakati ilitokea vita ikawa kuna serikali na ilichafuka. Kama siku nyingine vijana wawili walikuwa na bishana, waliona mama akiwa na mimba, wakaanza kulitana. Ile mama amebeba kijana ama ni msichana. Huyu anasema ni kijana, huyu mwingine anasema ni msichana. Wakasema let's prove it. Na kuprove ni kufanya nini? Walipasua hiyo mama tumbo. Wakasema you see.
In his second mission in Somalia, he gives an account of how they successfully captured Kismayo after days of heavy fighting.
Somalia nienda 2012. Na sisi ndio tuenda kukamata mahali inaitwa Kismayo. Na kwenda kukamata Kismayo tunaona kitu inaitwa meli. Kitu inatangwa beach landing. Na beach landing ni ngumu kidogo. Beach landing ni ngumu kidogo.
Yaani kutoka kwa meli muingie kwa...
Unatoka kwa meli unaingia kwa maji. Na hii meli haija dodge mahali inatakiwa ku dodge.
Bado iko kwa maji.
Iko kwa maji. Alafu inatafuta beach mahali kwa beach iko mchanga, hiyo meli iende ijiuku hapo. Ilienda tuona Somalia ikajiuku hapo. Na kwa bahati ikakatika kitu inaitwa nanga. Tulipata kashida. Tulipata shida. Lakini at the end of the day tulifaulu. Tulifaulu kwa vile tuliweza kushuka na hiyo meli inakuwa ni mrefu. Ni mrefu unashuka, hapa chini kwa kaleka boti kidogo. Unafanya nini hivi. Na ukitoka kwa ile juu aka ujirushe vibaya utaingia kwa maji hapa katikati kwa mwanzo. Kwa hivyo unatakiwa na time. Wakati inakuja kukutana hivi unaruka kutoka juu unaingia ndani. Ilikuwa 2012 hiyo.
Tuambie Kismayo ilikuwaje, kwa sababu mataifa mengi yameweza kwenda Somalia lakini hawajawahi kufikia pale ambapo mliweza kufikia na mkaweza kudumisha amani. Kismayo ilikuwa ni moja ya vita ambazo hadi saa hii bado inazungumziwa.
Kismayo kitu wa kwanza ndio ilikuwa why sababu. Kwa nini? Walikuwa na wakichoma hii makaa yote inasanga Kismayo. Na kuikamata ama kuwatoa kwa hiyo makaa ilikuwa ni shida, lakini tulingangana tukawapukuza ama tukawatoa. Na baada hao kutoka hatungeweza kulala kwa vile walikuwa naenda wanajiriog ama wanajipanga mahali wanakuja. Ukuja si ati wanakuja tu wapike oti. Wanakuja na kupika bombs mahali tuko.
Away from artillery, the veteran also enjoyed shooting range exercises.
Range ni kupika shaba. Na ile nilifurahisha tumeipika shaba tulikuwa na watu mnapika mkiwa watu ine vitu inatangwa pori bridge. Tumeikupika na munda ambaye sidhani kama iko watu wengine wameikupika na hiyo. Tulipika na 19 seconds kutoka 300 meters mpaka 200 meters. Na tukatumia muda wa 19 seconds. Na hiyo kitu mpaka saa hizi kinakaa kwa akili yangu.
According to Kimeo, there is need to jealously guard the peace we enjoy as a country.
Vijana wasiwe wanatumiwa vibaya. Na vijana wajue amani ni kitu wa maana. Pile nilikuwa nimepeana hiyo kisambo ya Sierra Leone. Vijana walikuwa wamejiweka makokaini huko. Ndio hata ukimwambia kitu unaona asikii. Amani ni kitu wa maana. Kila mahali wakati tuimbe amani. It is very important, brother.
Kimeo admits the constant artillery blasts over the years had taken a toll on his hearing ability, a sacrifice he acknowledges.
Kinga hiyo iko na sauti mingi sana na ile inatoka wakati ya baada ya kulilizi hiyo projectile au bomb. Tunapata shida ya masikio. Somalia nilikaa 3 months bila kusikia. Hata saizi huwa sisikii poa sana.
The father of 2 is now a fully fledged farmer who also enjoys sports.
Kurelax. Napenda kurelax nikiangalia kwa TV kidogo. Mimi ni mtu napenda tu sports.
Yes.
Na to sports, mpira, athletics. Huwa naangalia kwa TV hapo, kikativi kwa Coca-Cola. Mimi ni mtu Arsenal. Arsenal ni kusema big guns.
Yes. Big guns.
Na mimi nimekwambia ni mtu wa big guns. Adila Divan.
We take a tour of his new office. He stresses on the need to watch over the environment. And as the chairman of Defense Forces Old Comrades Association, DEFOCA, in Machakos County, he now has time to catch up with his former comrades, something we witness. One can't help but admire these veterans for maintaining their bond several years after serving as brothers in arms. For Military Tales, I'm Ben Troinjua.
Rahisisha uwezo wako wa ushindi kwa kukuwa memba wa Loto Moto, na ni rahisi. Dial *570#, chagua option 1. Ukiwa memba ni rahisi kufika kwenye jukwaa hili ili kujaribu mchezo wetu wa Loto Moto Show. Na pia kama memba unajipa nafasi rahisi ya kuingia kwenye promotion zetu zinazokupa nafasi ya kujishindia chapaa na zawadi kibao kama TV, friji, pikipiki, mashamba na pia magari. Kuwa memba ni *570# option 1. Tushinde kama members.
Say bye-bye to FOMO, the fear of missing out, by downloading the KBC Online app that gives you access to everything you love. Get the latest news, sports, music, entertainment news, live TV, live radio, and so much more at the palm of your hand. To get the app, simply search KBC Mobile Digital App in your Google Play or App Store and download the app. Catch what you want, anytime, anywhere. Stay connected. Stay ahead with KBC Mobile Digital App.
Cheza Loto, shinda pesa moja.
Yes, salute, ikiwa ni show yako ya ushindi, na leo tuko Bomet. Safari yatupeleka all the way mpaka Silipwet, ikiwa ni safari ya ushindi na usaidizi. Na kabla kufika huko, lazima tuingie ndani ya studio tupatane na watatu hawa ambao wametujoin kama members kupitia *570#. Option ya kwanza hii ya leo sio Silipwet tu, ni Loto Moto.
*570#. Dial *570#, chagua option 1. Automatically unakuwa member. My dear, sasa
Poa.
Majina nani?
Gladys Nyawoki.
Kutoka wapi?
KBC County.
Biashara yako ni gani? Unafanya shughuli gani yako?
Shughuli ni kupanda mbegu kama kabichi, sukuma wiki. Ndio napanda.
Yaani from Kisii iko shilingi 1,100 hapa ndani. Sawa sawa? Big man, majina nani?
Boniface Mwangi.
Kutoka area gani?
Kutoka Murang'a County.
Shughuli unafanya gani?
Ni ile ya kulima.
Wewe ni hustler kamili.
Ni hustler.
Big man. Kama nini inaweza kukufaa ukipata kutoka ndani hii box?
200,000.
Okay.
Naweza furahia sana. Tunianze biashara. Niweze kusonga na maisha.
Iko pesa hapa, ni pesa tamu. Aha. Dadangu, majina nani?
Joan Ayuma.
Ayuma. Aha, unatoka area gani?
Naishi Githurai.
Okay. Na shughuli unafanya hapa Githurai ni gani hapa Nairobi?
Kuuza matunda.
Okay. Nini unataka hapa Loto